Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is where we go beyond the brochures and brand claims to uncover the truth about machines built to move the earth, or in some cases, break your wallet. Because today, we're not celebrating power. We're warning you about the dangers hiding beneath the metal. This is the list of 5 dozers you should never purchase. Machines that promise strength but delivered stress. Whether it's poor reliability, impossible maintenance, or catastrophic engineering flaws, these are the bulldozers that will cost you more than they'll ever earn back. So hit that like button if you believe performance should be proven, not advertised. And let's dive in. 1. Komatsu D37EX, the overpromised lightweight. Komatsu has built some legendary machines. From the D155 to the D475, names that command respect across job sites worldwide. But not every model under that banner carries the same glory. The D37EX is the perfect case study of good intentions meeting flawed execution. On paper, it looked brilliant. A nimble, fuel-efficient dozer aimed at contractors who needed precision grading without the bulk of a heavy crawler. It featured a hydrostatic transmission for smoother control, a modern cab, and the promise of Komatsu reliability in a smaller footprint. But out in the dirt, things went differently. Operators quickly discovered that its compact frame came at a cost. The undercarriage wore out fast, track tension was inconsistent, and overheating became a recurring issue, especially in hot or high-dust environments. Even worse, the electronic sensors, designed to simplify operation, frequently misread data, throwing false error codes and shutting the machine down mid-job. The D37EX's hydrostatic drive, meant to be its innovation highlight, turned into its Achilles heel. Rebuilds often cost tens of thousands, and downtime was constant. Push power was limited for its class, and the fuel savings were negligible once repair costs started piling up. It's a hard lesson in modern engineering. Sometimes, compact and smart is just marketing code for underbuilt and expensive. The D37EX tried to be efficient, but forgot the one rule every dozer must obey. A machine's first job is to survive. 2. John Deere 450J, the costly classic. John Deere's name carries weight in the construction world, a symbol of heritage, toughness, and American craftsmanship. But even the best stumble, and the 450J is one of those rare missteps. When it launched, the 450J was marketed as the perfect middle ground, small enough for grading jobs, strong enough for heavy push work, and smart enough to meet modern emission standards. It looked like the kind of dozer that could blend the mechanical reliability of the old 450G with the sophistication of the 21st century. But out in the field, operators quickly learned that smart didn't always mean better. The real problem wasn't under the hood, it was behind the dashboard. The electronic control modules, DEF system, and a maze of sensors turned basic troubleshooting into a guessing game. A simple sensor fault could trigger a shutdown, forcing owners to call specialized technicians armed with proprietary diagnostic laptops. Many found themselves paying thousands just to clear codes that shouldn't have appeared in the first place. Even seasoned mechanics who'd worked on Deere machines for decades admitted defeat, saying the 450J had become too clever for its own good. Hydraulic response lagged, the transmission felt inconsistent, and when the emission system acted up, the machine entered limp mode at the worst possible time. What made matters worse was cost of downtime. For small contractors, every idle hour meant lost revenue, and Deere's software-locked diagnostics made independent repair nearly impossible. The frustration wasn't just mechanical, it was philosophical. The 450J proved a painful truth. Sometimes, innovation without durability is just inconvenience dressed as progress. And in the dozer world, simplicity isn't outdated, it's sacred. 3. Case 850M, the over-engineered headache. On paper, the Case 850M looked like the perfect evolution of a mid-sized workhorse. It had everything modern buyers wanted: a clean Tier 4 final engine, an ergonomic cab with great visibility, joystick controls, and smooth hydrostatic drive. It promised power with finesse, comfort with capability. For a brief moment, contractors thought Case had struck gold. But once the 850M hit the dirt, reality set in. Within months, operators began reporting regeneration issues, DEF clogs, and sensor failures that crippled performance. The emission system, designed to meet environmental standards, became the machine's biggest flaw. Instead of improving efficiency, it often left the dozer idling for forced regions or entering limp mode in the middle of crucial grading jobs. And while Case tried to patch the problems with software updates, those updates rarely addressed the real issue, the system's complex design. Every solution seemed to introduce a new fault code. Even experienced mechanics found themselves spending hours scrolling through diagnostic menus that felt endless and inconclusive. Then came the parts problem. Unlike competitors such as Caterpillar or Komatsu, Case struggled to maintain global parts inventory. A failed actuator, a cracked valve, or a damaged hydraulic sensor could take weeks to arrive, sometimes shipped from another continent. For independent contractors or municipal fleets, that kind of downtime wasn't just inconvenient, it was financially devastating. Operators described the 850M as a love-hate machine. When it worked, it was smooth, stable, and precise, capable of cutting clean grades and moving serious dirt. But when it didn't, it tested patience and profit alike. The 850M taught a painful industry lesson. Modern sophistication means nothing without reliability. In the dozer world, a machine that's unpredictable is worse than one that's underpowered, because you can't plan for failure when it shows up uninvited. 4. Liugong 160C, the tempting trap. When the Liugong 160C first hit the market, it sent shockwaves through the construction industry. A brand new dozer, fully equipped and ready to work, at nearly half the price of a comparable Caterpillar or Komatsu. For small contractors and budget-conscious buyers, it seemed like the deal of the decade, a shortcut into the big leagues without the heavy price tag. But that illusion didn't last long. Within the first year of ownership, reality set in, and it wasn't pretty. Reports began surfacing of premature wear, failing seals, and hydraulic leaks that appeared after only a few hundred hours of operation. The undercarriage, arguably the backbone of any dozer, showed shocking weaknesses. Track shoes bent under moderate stress, rollers wore unevenly, and sprocket teeth degraded faster than expected. Mechanics blamed poor metallurgy and inconsistent quality control. Many components, from pins and bushings to bolts and bearings, simply weren't hardened to industry standards. In harsher climates or rocky terrain, these parts deteriorated at an alarming rate. Then came the engine troubles. The Liugong 160C's power plant, often sourced from lower-cost regional suppliers, struggled to maintain compression and cooling efficiency over time. Overheating became common, especially in high-load applications. And while the company offered warranties, after-sales support and spare parts logistics were often slow, leaving operators stranded with idle machines for weeks. In many cases, what looked affordable at purchase quickly turned into a maintenance nightmare. Constant breakdowns, high downtime, and expensive imported parts that erased any initial savings. Contractors soon realized that cheap and cost-effective are not the same thing. The Liugong 160C became a cautionary tale. Proof that heavy machinery isn't just about horsepower or price tags. It's about trust, endurance, and consistency, and those things can't be bought at a discount. 5. Caterpillar D5K2. The disappointment with a premium badge. This one might surprise you. Caterpillar, the gold standard in dozers, the name synonymous with durability, rarely missteps. But the D5K2 stands out as one of those rare exceptions where a great brand over-engineered a good idea into frustration. Marketed as the perfect mid-size dozer that blends precision and power, the D5K2 promised to be the modern operator's dream. Smooth hydrostatic drive, ergonomic cabin, advanced controls. It looked like the future of earth moving, but once the dust settled, many owners realized they'd bought more computer than machine. The first cracks showed in the Tier 4 final engines, which ran hot and demanded near-perfect DEF management. A clogged injector, bad sensor, or delayed regeneration could throw the entire system into limp mode. For machines designed to work in heat and dust, that's a disaster. Even more frustrating was Caterpillar's proprietary diagnostic system. Independent mechanics were locked out, leaving owners at the mercy of dealership service rates. Every warning light became a bill, and every breakdown a waiting game. Once warranties expired, maintenance costs rose sharply, especially for emission components and the hydrostatic drive, which was notorious for fluid contamination and pressure imbalances. Operators praised the comfort. Whisper-quiet cab, smooth joysticks, and precise blade control, but questioned the trade-off. Many said it felt more like driving a luxury SUV than a rugged dozer. Unfortunately, that refinement came with fragile electronics and sensitive sensors that couldn't tolerate real-world abuse. In some cases, customers even reverted to older D5N or D5M models, claiming they were simpler, stronger, and easier to maintain. For them, the D5K2 became a symbol of how far Caterpillar drifted from its roots. Because when your so-called bulletproof dozer starts acting like a luxury car with warning lights, that's not progress. That's overdesign. And in heavy machinery, complexity isn't innovation, it's vulnerability. At the end of the day, heavy machinery isn't just about torque or technology, it's about trust. A dozer should be a partner, not a problem. It should outlast contracts, not warranties. And while every brand has its heroes, these 5 machines remind us that even the biggest names can miss the mark. So before you buy, do your homework. Talk to real operators. Read field reports. Because the wrong dozer can bury more than just dirt. It can bury your business. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the machines that build our world. And remember, buy smart, dig deep, and never let marketing do the heavy lifting.